everybody, and welcome to another Breach podcast. Okay, guys, we're so excited to be back again, and I know you're excited as well. And before we get in, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who came out for our in-person lunch.
Yes, y'all showed up and showed out.
Honestly,
all
like
the way
it
out,
was really stunning. Honestly, just to see everybody, come out, organizations, institutions, agencies, and people who represented themselves, family members, friends. We can't say much. Like, just thank you guys.
Community organizations, mentors, faculty mentors.
Yeah, faculty mentors as well. Yeah, the support was like really massive. Yeah, so if you're just joining this podcast, we actually have like episode 1 and 2 before this one, so you can just join in the conversation. We've been diving into Jennifer Elliott, Jenn over there. We've been diving into Jenn's research, and she actually went into the community to research about Black women's perception of intimate partner violence from the media, and we've been really talking about some amazing findings that we have been like trying to discuss, and also like let us know how these things show up in our community, and not just giving you that, but also like what can we do about these things, these findings, so we're like excited to hear more about those stuff. So Jenn, tell us.
All right. So yeah, like Olga mentioned, just to recap, we do have the introductions out on podcasts, and then we do have episode 1, and that really focused on Black women tropes. And let me go back and just reiterate the research question that we used, that I used for the study. So it was, how do Black women understand the role and influence of social media on their perceptions of intimate relationships? And to what extent do their perceptions influence how they define healthy and unhealthy relationships? So again, episode 1, if you haven't checked it out already, check it out. It's on the Black women tropes and how that impacts and how that's perpetuated in social media and how that impacts those perceptions. But today,
I was like,
drum roll. Okay. I love that, y'all. Thank y'all. Today we're going to be talking about the second thing, which was the influence of celebrity relationships on perceptions of Black relationships on social media. All right, so let's get into it. So when I was talking to the participants, Black women, and just diving into the factors related to social media and their perceptions, it was profound that they talked about celebrity relationships, right? So celebrity relationships dominated like the like what was perceived the most. And a lot of the participants mentioned that, they themselves wanted to keep their relationships like, kind of like discreet, right? They wanted to keep those private, and they felt like that was like a commonality. However, with the celebrities, that's not the case. Right. They out, and like all of their information is out, and especially on platforms like Celebrity Gossip. We got the Shade Room, which is really big, and how that constantly is like putting out celebrities and them being in intimate relationships. And I think that we can all attest to like what we think is the pros and cons of that, right? If we thinking about Celebrity Gossip and we thinking about pages like the Shade Room, who are normally like they normally are associated with having negativity on their platform because that's what they hone in on to get those views, then how is relationships in that aspect, how is that portrayed on their platform? And that's not to say that they don't always shout out the healthy relationships, but it's saying that a lot of their engagement is coming from the negative perception, just like a lot of things on social media. So one of the celebrity couples that was discussed amongst majority of the participants was Blueface, and Krishan. And I don't know if y'all know about this couple, but it is screaming toxic. So both of them have been known to be in the music industry. I believe they both identify as rappers or musicians. And I think that they are a really, really viewed as like a really, really toxic relationship, in the sense of more so than others is because their fame is driven by their toxic relationship, right? Not really their music or anything else that they got going on, but because they are toxic, that's why they are known. So do y'all got any other examples or things that y'all see in relation to celebrity relationships that are
Jen, my head is screaming Cardi B.
Okay,
Cardi
all right.
B,
Want to
'cause,
get into it? Okay,
you
get
know,
into it.
Cause I mean, just like hearing that your participants also like brought these up as a theme amongst them is like just to show us that this is an issue, right? And to also reinstate that they're not like seeing any role model in the community, no, in the media for black love, you know, just and you know, I was also like trying to think of if I have seen any healthy black relationship go viral or something like that among celebrities. I mean, you guys could like correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't really seen lately. It's always been like this happened, that happened, you know, always like the bad stories, always like the unhealthy one. And majority of the celebrities actually they don't like end the relationship, you know, regardless of what the situation is, they just go off and on, you know, and they still go back to the unhealthy situation. They first of like some of them let us know what the unhealthy situation is, and then you start thinking, oh, this is gonna end, you know, okay, this has ended for good. And the next minute you're hearing that someone got someone a Ferrari or someone got someone a
Right.
something
Absolutely.
something or a private jet or something, and then you see like they're making up and all that stuff. And
I'd
you
rather
know,
cry in a Porsche.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's another
Or in
one.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
That screams Davido and Chioma.
Oh yeah, that's a Nigerian thing. Yeah, that's another Nigerian celebrity.
I would also like to say too, though, that I think it's hard, and this is not like advocating, but I do think it's hard to always be in the limelight as well. So people go through those things on a regular basis, like honestly, infidelity, abuse, just toxic relationships in general. But it's a lot more different when it's being displayed all over everywhere.
Right.
Like we seen, I forget her name, but she played in something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but she played in one of the shows that was pretty famous, and that had Taraji P. Henson in it. You know what I'm talking about?
It's a show.
Yeah, it was a show.
Is it Empire?
Empire,
is it
yeah. So she
Okay.
played Sarai or something like that. And she was crying. She was crying, and Shade Room like blew it up and was like, "Oh, what is wrong with her?" And was talking to the guy, and all of this stuff was happening. And she was like, "No, like we just was having some conflict, or we were just arguing and stuff like that." And it was like not something that was that deep. So when it's like issues like infidelity, which does happen a lot in the black community, from what I hear, right? And things like Cardi B come up in a situation where a lot of women actually would stay because that is what they know, or that's the only thing that they see is being publicized. So it makes it a lot bigger and like more shame on the person. Whereas like Krishan and what's his name, Blueface,
Yes.
and Blueface is in a relationship. They're literally getting fame from being toxic, and not to mention that Blueface is also, not only is he a rapper, but he's also a boxer. So he will punch her in her face on live in the camera. She's hit him multiple times in the camera, and everybody is like, "Oh, this is so funny. Oh, ha ha ha.
Oh,
Oh,
my
this
God.
is so yeah."
If
so,
they don't hit me, they don't really.
yeah,
they don't
hit.
love me,
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
Horrible,
So
horrible
yeah.
narrative.
I mean, one of the things that I know about celebrity relationships and this toxicity is the fact that, like we said, most of them thrive on it in terms of if there is no publicity, how do you expect them to release the music and people will listen to it? So most of them even like get ready to feed
use that
to
as a
the
stunt.
world. Yes,
Yeah.
use it as a stunt. But using toxicity as a stunt is, I mean, it's crazy because I try to imagine what kind of like do they have an interest in being role models for real, or they're just going about their businesses? Because if they know that people are actually looking up to them in areas like in relationships and all that, maybe they wouldn't use that stunt. But it looks like they don't care. They only want to push out like what they sell to people. And even these people who are watching them would also internalize it and feel, oh, since celebrities are doing it, then why don't I do it? Then that makes them like all shades of wrong.
Yeah. Just to quickly add something, like I also feel like in the real sense, like those celebrity relationships that are really going through like some form of crisis or the other, especially when it has to do with like some violence or you know, stuff like that. And you know, they refuse to, like, maybe not refuse, but they are not exactly separating from each other. You know, I feel like and some of the reason could be because of the public eye or public opinion. What would the public say? A lot of people like us together. We've done so many things and we've grew like our fan base together and all that stuff. I also feel like it's mostly they still have like this traditional mentality of it's a shame. It would be shameful for us to like break up or just stuff like that. So I still feel like there's this stereotype attached to people breaking up or people separating from each other when it's like, and that's what keeps people together for like, because it's not because if it were to be for yourself, you wouldn't want that space for yourself. But like what would every other person say?
I mean, looking at Keke Palmer's story, I felt it felt like it was so close to home. Maybe because I watched her like grow from what's that movie?
Aquila and the Bee.
And then seeing her, it was like, oh my God, this is crazy. But like having to see all those things that happened in public was enough for her to say, oh, okay, I'm leaving this relationship, because so many people were even concerned about her because they were like, oh, innocent Aquila and all those things. Like she should, have left, because who knows what would have happened to her. But I don't know whether I saw a picture recently, like a few days ago with her husband. Maybe it's a long time picture. I don't know. But I don't want to believe that someone like that would say, oh, it's shameful for me to leave this relationship just because of public eye or public opinion. And I think to a large extent, people can actually feel that sympathy for her, like feel pity for her, to the point that she doesn't even need to, have a stunt before people listen to her, before people like watch her movies and all that. And that's because she's doing the right thing by leaving. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but like I don't think when it's already in public, then you say, oh, it's shameful for you to leave, because what else?
Joyce, people in the comment section can be very crazy. Like you would hear people say something like, oh, what did she do? Or what happened before this scene?
Well,
Can I just also say that, like, we have to remember, like, celebrities are constantly put on a pedestal. They're humans. So there is no, like, just to be clear, like, for our listeners, too, that there is no should or shouldn't leave.
Of
like,
course.
so let's remove that for a second as well. Because they are human. So we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. This is why, especially, like, little boys and girls in the Black community who are looking up to these celebrities, because they don't have anybody at home that can show them what is not healthy when only clips of things is being posted on social media, like she didn't leave, or like somebody cheated on this person and they didn't leave, or whatever the case is. Like we don't know what is going on behind closed doors. We don't know what this person is saying to them. We don't know what it is that they're feeling, what conversations they're having. They had a kid together, speaking of Keke Palmer and the other guy, Cardi B and had a kid together, or Offset, had a kid together. Krishan and Blueface had a kid together. So these are all things that's happening. We don't know what is going on. So sometimes it's not as easy. Just like a regular person who is going through domestic violence, it's not easy for them to leave. It's going to be the same thing for a celebrity. We just put them in the limelight. But it isn't always easy to leave a situation like that, especially when you've had faith, especially when you've stood by this person for this long, especially when you haven't been able to speak out and you had a kid with them. So I think that's why it's also important that we start making sure that our role models aren't coming from just people in the entertainment business, but also from school social workers, or making sure that we are also pushing out healthy relationships on social media, and looking at people who might have a healthy relationship, because even then we still don't know, because they're only on social media. So making sure that our role models are coming from people that are around us, which is why we're trying to use this platform to build up speaking about and talking about healthy relationships as well, so that we can know that healthy relationships are in the Black community. We just have to continue to uplift them so that our listeners can be able to hear and learn more about that, rather than getting their information from role models like Cardi B or Keke Palmer or whoever, regardless if they're good people or not. We don't know them, you know?
Right. Yeah. And I think that the reason that I chose the social media platform per se was because of these reasons, right? Because we think that we understand, there's this like perception like we just because we're all on this platform that we know each other.
Yeah.
And I think that perception is false. And I think that
Yeah.
also, like being a survivor, we know that it doesn't matter about your socioeconomic status. It doesn't matter about those common factors. Anybody can be a survivor, including celebrities. And because of that, survivors, they have their reasons as to why they're in those situations.
Yeah.
And we hope to, press on that education so that others understand that as well.
And there are also a lot of healthy relationships online.
Yeah,
it's just that
that's true.
the limelight is not on them because it's not maybe gossip worthy. But yeah, there are a lot of healthy relationships. I mean, I follow celebrities. As soon as I see, apart from maybe this gossip blogs, but as soon as I see that someone's relationship is abusive, I just unfollow them. And I follow people who would help me with my sanity. And that's what's it called? Celebrities who talk about positive Black love. So it's also good to feed ourselves with those positive things and abstain from the gossip sometimes.
But
There
I do
are pages like
understand
that.
there are pages like that. But then even so, when I was doing some content analysis again on this project, there were pages that I did explore, and some of them had like Black love in it and things of that nature. But they still didn't perpetuate healthy traits just because they had love in the in its name. You know what I mean? So even okay, we see obviously I don't follow Blueface and Krishan. I still know everything that's going on with it. You know what I mean? Because it's still being pushed throughout different platforms. And so even when we should take those initiatives, if to our comfortability on who we feel like is a positive influence in following and unfollowing, but there's no escaping.
Yeah, you still see it.
You know what I mean? You still see it.
Yeah. This just goes back to say that social media is a very huge influence. I mean, a lot of research, lots and lots of research has said how social media influences, adverts, social media and celebrities, how they influence adverts. I mean, even in politics as well, huge influence of celebrities. If they say they're going to do this, before you know it, they're strong fans begin to tilt towards that direction. So that's it. Also boils on to what Vanity said about how they are humans as well. So we should, in as much as we have love for these people and we want to do most of the things they do, we want to act like them or be like them or just follow their steps in one or two ways. It's just nice for us to also give them the grace that they're humans and not try to emulate all the things we see them display in their relationship. Especially the endurance part, trying to endure or trying to say, oh, this person, Cardi B took one or two punches or Cardi B took one or two infidelity crisis and all that stuff. Yeah, so Cardi B can do it, so why can't I? So we should all know that we're humans with different choices. So
and evaluate your role models.
I
don't
That's
evaluate
huge.
why
That's
you think this
huge.
person is a role model.
Yeah.
If you think this person is a role model because they get money and that's it, I need you to evaluate that. I need you to, and it's different aspects that we all want to, strive towards. You don't have to have one single person, or you can take just different aspects, but don't just be claiming people as role models just, because you like one portion of them and then you gonna ignore all the unhealthy things that's going on. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I would say though that it is. I think it can be difficult. I'm wondering for listeners who see in their homes this isn't healthy, and then that unhealthy thing, okay, I know that hitting isn't healthy, right? What is? So if you're going on, you know what I mean? You're going on social media and you see that this couple, okay, they don't hit each other, but they cussing each other out, or they are, they aren't being supportive of each other. You never see them with each other when good things are happening and things like that. Then it's you know what I mean? It's hard to not have a role model if you really don't have one in the house. It's hard to choose who is going to be your role models when you've grown up with TV and you've grown up with these celebrities and you've only seen negative things in the household. it's like, well, who am I supposed to follow then?
Right.
You know?
Well, hopefully that's why we're here to
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
disseminate that
Yeah.
info,
Yep.
so you know what is healthy and what is unhealthy. And a lot
Yep.
of it is about learning and unlearning.
Yep.
And that unlearning part is
Woo.
okay. Let's talk
Yeah,
about
it's
that.
huge.
That unlearning
It's
part
huge.
is difficult, and it takes a lot of like that intuitive and initiative to like really go on that journey to like what is unhealthy, what is healthy, and how do I unlearn that.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody who's on that journey, who's thinking about that
Yeah.
journey, because it is like I said, a journey.
Yeah.
So.
Jen, I was wondering if anybody, like, if any of the participants talked about stuff related to hip hop culture or like rap and stuff like that, because I feel like that's another angle of like music and celebrity that depicts black women as something that they are not.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So that was brought up a lot. When it came to celebrity couples, a lot of them I noticed were in that region of like hip hop artistry, right? So we had Cassie and Diddy, and during this research, that video of Diddy attacking Cassie in the hotel room was not released yet. So I would have been interested to see how that would have impacted the participants and how they felt about the situation. But yeah, Cassie and Diddy was brought up about her recent claim of being attacked prior to the video being released, and her filing a lawsuit against him, and how she wasn't believed at first.
Nope.
And how those barriers that she faced. And so they talked about that, and they talked about how they were like at one point like a huge celebrity couple, and to know that all of these things were going on behind the scenes, it's like, well, then what else is going on behind the scenes with the other celebrities?
Yeah.
And then, like you mentioned, Cardi B and Offset was mentioned numerous times about the constant infidelity, and just even the comments and feedback when, again, going back to the content analysis, just reviewing the comments under posts that was talking about Offset's recent infidelity, and how the comments were like, she's dumb, she's stupid for staying, and then other comments was, and look at y'all crying poor in y'all house, and she she's still in her relationship with her Rolls Royce, and it's like, those aren't the determinants of like what's healthy and what's unhealthy, and just trying to dive into that. But yeah, it was a lot going on with that. Hip hop. Love and Hip Hop.
Oh yeah.
That was huge. That was a huge representation because a lot of those shows drive off of relationships, and most of them are perpetuated as unhealthy. Do y'all familiar with the Love and Hip Hop show? And how that we had the infamous Rashida and Kurt, and that constant narrative with them about the infidelity, and how at this point it's just like part of their relationship, and it's just they brought that up too. It was just a lot in regards to like the Love and Hip Hop, and how they create these narratives that this is how black relationships should be. And it's sad because though people see those narratives and then run with them, and it's no, there are healthy representations that can be viewed. They're often not viewed, but they are healthy representations. Maybe 10% of the media representation, but they are there.
Like in my head, I actually want to ask this question. Like, can anyone just tell me like one celebrity black relationship?
I mean,
that's
yo,
real?
I
I'm trying. Okay,
Sierra.
Okay.
And Russell
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
That came. The participants.
Yep.
That was the
okay.
And
main
they
one.
butchered him. So let's talk about that. So
Yeah,
even though
okay.
that's a healthy relationship, they said, or not say they, but it was a podcast where they talked about how he was a square, and that started to come about, and people were saying that, and I'm like, well, I want a square.
Hello. Give
Oh
me
my
the
God.
square
If
any
this
day.
is if this is who he is on an everyday basis, and they have a good
Right.
relationship in real life, then that is what I would like to imitate. The square.
I mean, like what Jen was saying about evaluating role models. I mean, I still feel like there's a part of me still feels like some people might actually be in healthy relationships, and maybe that's what they portray to the media, and maybe not saying what's going on. I mean, in inside, we only see what they put on social media. So I think as much as we want to say, oh, this person has like a very good relationship and all that, like that evaluation still is still important. But like my thought now is, then how do we evaluate those things? Is it by what they put on social media, or is it by what we read about them, or how exactly do we do that?
I think we can take away traits. I don't think we can. I don't think we have to say necessarily like I want this individual, but we can say I like that this individual does this, and I want those traits reflected in my relationship.
Right.
You know what I mean? And even if we find out later that this person was X, Y, and Z behind the scenes, I still want the healthy traits that were displayed.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah.
In real life.
And I know in real life, and I know that's tricky, but we do know what healthy traits are, and that's what we want. And when it's displayed, it's okay to be applauded.
Yeah.
But like we said, we really don't know what's behind the scenes, but we do know what we can. We know what looks healthy and what we take from that and want to have in our own relationships from that.
Yeah. You don't have to have the same relationship that celebrities have.
Right.
Like that isn't the goal. The goal isn't even to only have, celebrities as role models or people that's in social media as role models. The goal is to be the role model. Because everybody's relationship look different. I don't want Sierra and Russell's relationship, though I'm glad that they portray a healthy relationship. I don't want their relationship, I want mine, because what me and Sierra like might be different, you know? So be the role model. Like this is a journey, like Jen was saying, that is gonna take a while to kind of figure out what it is that you like and what you don't like, but there are some set healthy things that should be universal, I think.
Right. And just on that note, ending on the note of role models, I do wish we had more role models within the community, because they are impactful. And just I feel like if you believe that you have the healthy traits that are like actual healthy traits of a relationship, and to your comfortability, share it.
Yeah, that's
you don't know how impactful that is for people to see healthy relationships. So, you know what I mean? Just be a little bit open, again, at your comfortability, and sharing, like, being open about what it was that formed that healthy relationship, what it is to keep that healthy relationship, and just things of that nature. But share the wealth, y'all. Share the wealth, share the traits.
Social media can be very, very crazy. Especially, also in the community. Like, you see people who want to talk about what they're doing in their homes, and then people just project their insecurities on them. That's enough I think that might be enough for people to, like, withdraw, because there is a couple celebrity that I follow, and both of them they have their separate accounts where they post their spouses and all that, and you could see the hate, you could see the disgust, you could see how people like make them feel bad because they're trying to show what they do in their own homes. So if people still show like this healthy relationship, I think it's just, people should just accept that these relationships exist and not project their own insecurities or project what they see outside on these people. Like, give them a chance to also express themselves, so that, the only thing we hear about would not be people breaking up.
You don't have to be a role model you don't have to just be a role model on social media.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like just even just being
and you don't have to begin to create content because you want to be a role model to someone.
Yeah, because we have role models, and I won't say any names. I feel that we have role models just in our in our program right now, and they don't share like this is how our relationship is, but just the fact that we see that they're in a healthy relationship, we can just take that. Like they don't need to tell us what they're doing. Does that make sense? Like, y'all get what I'm saying? Like, you need to tell us this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it. You don't even need to be on social media, but to be a role model and, be there for the people that are asking questions.
Yeah. This was a wonderful discussion, honestly. Because I feel like, it's very, very extremely important, since it's like social media is celebrities, is like how they're displayed and how we see them. Because I've seen people actually cry for celebrities. Like people cry in concerts. I mean, you know.
I mean,
I
if the
have a
music is
friend.
hitting, I mean, relax.
Okay.
I've cried at concerts.
The vibe I was getting from this side is like, yeah.
I've cried at concerts.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a friend right here who loves a celebrity.
Right here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's Jenn, right?
What celebrity y'all love?
Oh.
Beyonce?
It's you.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
I
here.
cried at Beyonce
I love
concert
you.
anytime.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
I mean, no, like, I mean, see, honestly, it took me a while to start saying, "Oh, I feel like this person is my role model," because I feel like being a role model is like a very huge thing.
Yeah.
You know, so it takes me a very long while. I even say like I don't have one. I just have traits in people that I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like. You know, because I don't know someone completely. You can't know someone wholly from just watching them or like
Yeah.
you know following them on social media. You can't know them, so that's why it gives you like it saves you some of the like potential heartbreak when things
When they
come
mess
out
up.
and you're like, oh no, I can't do oh no for anybody.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh okay,
I mean, some
Yeah,
people are more
you know, it happened.
emotionally
So,
attached.
I also
to
think it's
celebrities.
words. If we're talking about concerts specifically, like I do think that because let me just say that I think sometimes when we're listening to that's just like if we go to church and we listening to gospel, right?
Uh-huh.
Even if we're in a car, because y'all know I like my gospel, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna listen to some songs. If I'm listening to what the words are saying, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, yo,
Yeah.
this is hitting.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I
even gonna
mean,
lie.
yeah, that's
I
me
was,
in
I was
elevation
crying this
worship,
morning,
whatever.
y'all.
Okay.
Listening to Beyonce
Shed the
though.
tears.
Because
I swear
Shed the
to
tears.
God, I thought it was a gospel song. Because I'm like,
Beyonce, because she was okay, because she had that one. Girl, I was listening to Ford because it was this debate on social media.
okay.
And I was listening to Ford because they was like, what was Beyonce's favorite album? And I was listening to that, and it was that one song, Best Thing You Never Had.
Never
and
Had,
I
yeah.
was
Sing
singing that from my soul
Hey.
every time. Okay, Foco.
Do we want to change
every
this to a
time
song
I sing that
podcast?
from my heart, y'all. So.
All
Yeah.
right.
So
All right.
this was great, guys.
Yeah, this was a great conversation.
Yeah, it was.
So glad that I think we have one more episode to wrap up like the research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about like what our next episode will be about. And yeah. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
All
Thank you
right,
guys.
see ya.